We didn't let the magic smoke out, but there should be a smoking gun at least of what went wrong with this system. So today I'm going to try to figure it out. Why doesn't this work? So I suppose this could be a series. Why doesn't this work? And today we're going to hopefully find out why this ESC doesn't work. I installed it and I did, of course, a custom solder job because I didn't want a whole bunch of extra wire. You know, we've got this much wire on our motor and we have even more wire on the ESC and it only has to go this far. So it just wasn't responding. There was no beeps, there was no nothing. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what's wrong with it. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna boot up another ESC just on the bench, and I wanna make sure that we at least get beeps from it. We'll know that it works. If there's beeps, we'll get the warning beeps of, hey buddy, I see no signal, hopefully. And then we'll go from there. And I'll just install a new ESC. Sometimes that's what you have to do is you switchy swap parts, and you got to figure out what's wrong. Motors don't really go wrong easily, especially not out of the package. All right. You can hear, hopefully you can hear that. It's giving me a continuous do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. It's waiting. All right, so we know this ESC is at least functional on the bench. That's a good start. Why don't we go ahead and try to boot this one up? We should get the same thing. Do-do-do. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, there is a light, but we were getting nothing else. Let's see what light is on this one. What color? So, okay, same color light on that. And I can't see underneath on this one at least. Yeah, why don't we just cut it out and we'll see if we can see underneath. Because there's two lights, one indicator of the readiness and the other one I believe is an indicator of signal. We'll see if we get both lights. I don't know what I may have done to it. As it could just be, you know, bum. Oh yeah, we're missing the LED down here is not giving us an indicator. So I could be bum straight from the factory. I could have biffed it when I did the soldering job. There's lots of things, and I understand that not everybody has an extra ESC laying around. But of course, if you bought the ESC from us and it was not responding, we would just send you a new one. So, all right, let me find a place to put this, because it's probably not the motor that's bad. So we're just gonna desolder the ESC, and then I'll have to desolder the wires on this one. All right, what are we at? 300 Celsius? We probably need more than that. I forget how to control this. There we go. I'm gonna bump it up to, why not? 390. There we go. Make sure we clean our tip. A little bit of fresh solder. Oh, I got no fans back here. And then, there we go. Oh, might need more heat than that. Normally I'd be doing this on the bench where we have a lot more. Oh, it only goes up to 400 Celsius. So I guess that's what we get. I'll just have to use a little extra solder. Because I guess it doesn't matter at this point if I put too much solder on the ESC. There we go. One. That one right there. A two. Three. There we go. There we don't go. Now we'll need to desolder these, and what I'm going to do to get to it without taking off all of the heat shrink is I will just give her a little snip right there. Little snip on this side, and then we can pull back the heat shrink, and what I'll do is I'll just cut it all the way up to the top of the heat sink. Heat shrink, heat sink. Nice and even, hopefully. I'm trying to make this build a little cleaner than normal because most of my rigs are they need a little wiring cleanup. I switch things so much though. I have excuses. I'll give you excuses. There we go. These little, whatever they're called, soldering irons, they're the TS 100s. They're quite useful. I wouldn't use it for all of my soldering needs. I do prefer to have something with a lot more thermal mass and power, but for the occasional job away from the desk, they work very well. Come on now. Oh, you can do it. You've got enough. You've got it. I'm gonna damage this thing. If you can't solder it fast, you just got to move to the next joint, because otherwise that could be what happened to the other one. Maybe some heat damage, but who knows. It was with a normal big boy iron. Here we go. Oh, I had it and then it slid and then I lost it. Do it. There we go. Yeah, it's no fun soldering with these little bitty irons when you're working with something that needs a lot of thermal. You know, there we go. Yeah. I don't like what that did there. No, don't like it at all. It's not ideal. It's working. Still don't like it. All right, we'll try this first one again. I'm just adding solder here to get thermal conductivity. And I understand that I'm probably blocking the good views of the camera, but we can't always do it perfect. All right. There we go. Any damage that I can see? Nope. A little bit of solder did work its way onto the heatsink there. That's not ideal. Now, let's plug it into the battery and see if we get all the LEDs on the back. Might as well. We'll test in the middle. Yep, we got that blinking red light. Solid red, blinking. Yep. All right, so it's still active. Step one. Now we get to solder it back in. And this could be potentially where I damaged the last one. And if I damage it again, then I guess I'll have to try something different. Maybe I'll have longer wires. All right, so some fresh solder. Get some thermal transfer going. Very nice, much easier with these slightly thinner wires. I went a little oversized on the stock ones. We used 14 gauge. Because it's better to have thicker wires rather than thinner. And if you really want to save grams, we do have them available in a kit form where the wires are not attached and you can put any size of wire on it that you wish. That is the whole reason for the kit. There we go, a little bit of extra solder, nice and extra hot, not the best looking joints. They're certainly acceptable joints, but I would typically not want them to be so hazy. I'd want them to be shinier, but I had to turn the iron up so hot that it's kind of hard to have best of both worlds. I would normally just use a much larger iron, bigger tip, more thermal mass. All right, so, hey! So it's telling me that we don't have signal. That's what I would expect, because we don't have a radio plugged in. I'm stoked. That was our problem right there. So I guess I'm gonna have to call the warranty department on this one. I wish I knew what was up with it, but it's just dead. Yeah, sometimes things are just dead. Electronics yeah, you know, a lot of times we'll test something here, it works just fine, and then we'll ship it, and then suddenly it won't work again. Electronics don't like vibration, and sometimes that's just the luck of the draw. So yeah, well, we're gonna zip tie this thing down and hook a radio up to it and then see if it turns. So zip ties, I got a pile down here somewhere. All right, so we'll zip tie it down. And then should we test it again? If I remember correctly, this was extremely difficult last time. Yep, still is. Yeah, there we go. Put that sucker right about there, right in the middle. Yes, sirree, Bob, or Bill. There we go. Got a bite. Oh yeah, look at that. It's even clean wiring. Look at me go. Look at me go. Now there is a half a chance that it's going to spin backwards, but we are back to where we started. All right, now I can continue on with my day, and I feel like I've accomplished something. So next time what we're going to do is get our radio all set up. I guess I'm going to need a steering servo, and there are some other accessories for this that we could install as well. So we're going to call it here now that I have at least something that's beeping at me and telling me that it is possibly functional. We are going to move on to the next. So if you got any questions about this, or tell me what you would have done for troubleshooting otherwise, maybe there's some other things I should have tried, but this seemed to work this time. Put your comments down below. We'll do our best to get to them. As always, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.